And now, nothing. We're not on the air. And now Jewish Community Radio presents.
After hours.
Yeah, we're not on the air right now. This is our inaugural After Hours podcast that we're gonna do here once in a while. When we're gonna do it, we haven't figured it out yet. But our thought is that for our listeners of Jewish Community Radio, we can do stuff and talk about stuff that we can't talk about on the air because, well, there are certain rules for FM stations that are non-commercial. We can't talk politics. We can't talk dollars. We can't talk things that the station doesn't want us talking about. So we figure, let's just talk about things that we kind of avoid, even though they may be legal, but we try to avoid them anyhow. How's that sound, Elisheva?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, we're just winging it. We have no plans for this show so far whatsoever. So I do want to bring up one topic
I
that was
actually
interesting.
wanted to start by telling people where this has kind of been brewing for some time.
Go ahead.
So ever since COVID started, Fred and I have been doing our shows remotely. He's at his house, I'm at my house, and then we record the show, and then we notice, oh, we forgot to talk about this, and we're just sitting there talking
Yeah,
while he's waiting for the show to upload, and then we're realizing, oh, we could have expounded a little bit more on this, etc. And actually, it was the guest you had in the studio last week who was talking to you and said, you should have an additional show.
yeah, he was right, 100%. We should do it. And by the way, he was actually nodding on the radio. We tell him you can't nod on the radio. It does not work.
Well, you used to see me chuckle without making sound.
Oh, he chuckled too. He held it in too. He thought he no. We wanted him to laugh.
No, but that was something I used to do too.
Yeah, definitely. But who cares?
So,
After a while, you get used to it. You don't care anymore. You become relaxed. You're not so worried about the little things. But it's those little things that make the show good, though.
we're recording this on a Monday night. It is the second night of Hanukkah.
And I lit my candles already, and I just had a donut.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm also in the middle of doing is I'm making latkes to take to school.
Oh yeah, you're having your latke day.
Yes. So as I talked about on the show before, um, people at school are now very interested in Hanukkah, especially with in light of my child goes to that school now, and she's essentially their first Jewish classmate. And when they were planning the December celebrations, and it was towards winter break, I said, okay, you can take Hanukkah out if that's what you're doing because our holiday is a lot earlier this year. Oh, well, when is it? And I told them. So then it became, we're going to do a whole month's worth of holidays and we're kicking it off with Hanukkah.
But what's interesting though is that if people notice, Elisheva did not invite me over for try her latkes, because she knows I'm going to eat them all. Right?
Well, actually, that, and also I know that you're not going to like these. I'm doing the cheat methods.
Oh no, you're doing the food processor version.
Sort of.
She's food processor. Okay, let people know that if you use a food processor, they tend to come out like a pancake batter, as opposed to if you hand mesh them, hand grind them, you get more of a thicker consistency in the potato. That's what
Well,
I
this
like.
is actually a mixture of the two methods.
Okay, but still,
So
when you
this is a combination of using the food processor method for the bulk of them, and then the rest of them are hand grated. I prefer saving some of my knuckles.
but you know something, when you have the hand grated ones, trust me, they're so much better. They're incredible. But yeah, now there's a group in Cleveland, Generations Call Israel, close to Generations, however they say it. They at various events throughout the year. Well, they used to have an annual picnic, and they had their their griddle for latkes. And now they always did it by machine because they would literally fill for their picnic 3 or 4 50-gallon garbage pails, brand new, of course. Don't get me wrong, with latke batter. They would go through that much, hundreds and
And then they
hundreds of
always would
pounds.
have a booth at the kosher rib burn off too.
That's what they do now. But they used to
Yeah.
have it at their picnic every year, and But that was an interesting era when everybody knew what was kosher, what wasn't kosher. And everything at the event was kosher. It didn't make a difference. Everybody knew it was kosher. Today you have to ask if it's kosher or not. But there was an era where people just trusted each other. And we didn't cheat each other. We knew it was kosher. And the Colesville picnic had hot dogs, hamburgers, had latkes, corn. Everybody ate. It was all kosher. No question.
So we had a couple of news events we wanted to talk about. You
Yes,
brought
we
up
did.
one.
One of which, you want to start with one or should I start with one?
I'll let you start.
Okay, there was an interesting story a couple weeks ago that I wanted to address. And we got the actual answers why about a week ago or so. A few weeks ago, suddenly the Beechwood chief of police resigned out of nowhere. He's been in the job for 1 year, and suddenly he's gone. No answer why. Then the mayor appointed the deputy chief as chief, which is also kind of odd because usually you expect that to go through city council, a little bit of debate, a little bit of interview.
What
This
they
lady-
went through to get this one in place.
It went through like I would say the whole thing probably happened about 10 minutes, at least according to the way it appeared in the Cleveland Jewish News. Well, a couple of days ago, about a week ago, so I should say, it came out that the Beechwood chief was previously the chief of Rocky River Police, took a job as the chief of the Metro Parks Police. So that must have been why he quit suddenly, because I guess he had a better job in the works.
Well, what's also interesting though is that the deputy chief, who is now Beechwood's chief, had previously been at the Metro Parks.
He was? Really?
She was, yes.
Oh, she was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So I was making jokes about, okay, was this a giant job swap?
Basically, because all I know is that somebody got a raise, and somebody got a raise, and everybody's happy.
Well, then that's good.
Yeah. So, here's a funny one I got to give you.
Okay.
Cleveland Jewish News from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. Nissim Black, who is a black Hasidic rapper, and Kosher Dills, who I never heard of, Jewish hip-hop royalty remix Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song.
Yep.
Oh, brother. I don't want to hear this one.
No. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Because the Adam Sandler song sucked.
No. You want to hear it.
Why?
I heard it last night when it dropped.
Is it funnier than Adam Sandler?
Okay, first of all, you don't even hear. All it is like they're using it as a beat in the background. So if you know anything about hip hop,
Okay.
it's more of a sampling. It's not it's not a cover. It's
Good.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You actually do want to hear it.
Okay.
And it's brand new lyrics put out by Nissim and by Kosher Dills.
Cool. I want to see it because at first, I just saw the article now. Literally just saw the article, perusing the Cleveland Jewish News, and thought, I got to talk about this one.
No, you totally want to see it.
Okay. Give me a story. What do you got? Give me something that we can't tell on the radio.
Well, actually, the other one is I just realized I have to order donuts before I have to order the donuts for the Hanukkah celebration earlier than I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I thought we were going to do the donuts on Friday. Apparently, we're doing the donuts on Wednesday. So, and then this is where it gets interesting. Now, nobody I work with keeps kosher, obviously, except for myself and my kid. And in theory, I could probably just go to Dunkin' Donuts and just pick up regular donuts and call it a day. But I really, really, really want people to have the Jewish donut experience.
It's interesting because we have a kosher donut shop, and I also have donuts too. But we have one kosher donut shop, and we're not on the air. I can say the names. It's Goldie's on Mayfield Road.
Yes.
I forgot. I can give plugs. So I can tell you for a fact that Goldie's is better than Dunkin' Donuts. I've had Dunkin' Donuts in different cities. We have kosher Dunkin' Donuts. Goldie's is much better.
Actually, somebody I work with, when I said I was probably going to get the donuts from Goldie's, was very excited. So
Yeah, they really are good. Now, I will tell you that a lot of people love the Unger's donuts, Unger's Bakery, and they're pretty good. They're really good donuts. Interesting thing about those are is that they use in their they have chocolate on top and a Boston cream filling on the inside, and the Boston cream filling is much better than what you have at Goldie's. It's a real Boston cream pie filling. So hands down. Now I will tell you that the Boston cream pie in Unger's, they store them in the refrigerator. So it's probably a cream that should be refrigerated, but they're really good creams. So
Okay. So but just from a price standpoint, that's the part I was comparing with because I'm not used to really buying donuts.
yeah, but by the way,
Um,
we can't mention dollar. We absolutely cannot mention dollar amounts on the air, but we can mention them here. What's the difference in price between Goldie's and Unger's? Any idea?
well, I can tell you that a typical donut it seems to be about $1.65 a piece at Goldie's, but if I'm obviously going to be getting several dozen, then that goes into $18.
Cool. Tell them it's for the radio show. I don't know. Maybe you get a discount. I don't know.
But I don't know how much they cost at Unger's.
I don't know, but I would say the Unger's donuts are pretty good, especially the chocolate cream, the chocolate top and cream filled in the middle. Now, I did see something funny. This is against the politics. I can't mention on the air. It's Israel politics. Who cares? Somebody made a donut, named the donut after the Prime Minister of Israel, Benny Gantz. What they did was they put a little white cream on top in the middle.
I thought that said Bennett.
Bennett, yeah, Bennett. I'm just going to say
I
Bennett.
thought it
Naftali
was
Bennett.
for Prime Minister Naftali
Yeah,
Bennett.
Naftali Bennett. They put two pieces of something like looks like maybe a cornflake to make a kippah on top. And he tends to wear blue, so they gave him a blue jacket. It's pretty funny. You saw that one. Okay, the Bennett donut. I thought that was funny. Hey, here's something cool. CJN also. CJN has one writer who's a guy who does theater, and I think I've met him before. I'm not positive. And if who I think he's a really cool guy, Bob Abelman. And he has a book out called Murder Center Stage. It's supposed to be a funny book according to the CJN ad. And maybe we should have the CJN guy on our show.
The CJN guy.
Yeah, Bob Abelman, the theater guy.
Oh yeah.
We should get him on the show.
I had to think for a minute.
We should get him. Why not? It doesn't hurt to get him on the show.
No.
So what else you got?
The only thing I had was I was actually on Facebook today. This is not 100% Hanukkah related, but I thought it was interesting. So on previous shows, we have talked about different, for lack of a better term, sext within Judaism. And this one was more interesting. This was a sponsored ad that popped up on Facebook for the Noachides.
Okay. Well, first, let's explain what Noachide are.
That was where I was going. So a Noachide is a ben Noach or a child of Noah. This is a person who is not Jewish. They're not going to become Jewish, but they have taken on the 7 commandments that were given to Noah after the flood, which for the most part are in line with the 10 commandments.
Yes.
There's very, very few exceptions, but the idea is if you become a ben Noach, I don't want to call it Jewish light, but it kind of is.
Well, a lot of people consider them to be within the Jewish framework because they are following the Jewish Torah laws.
But they're not Christian, they're not Muslim, they are following Judaism without actually converting.
Yes, and it really does follow the Commandments, the commandments of God to after the flood, and they're basically, like you said, they're a little bit different than the 10 Commandments. They're not as strict, and let me give a plug here for somebody else who I really, really enjoy. There's a rabbi whose videos I watch, and his name is Tuvia Singer, Tuvia, last name Singer, as in the sewing machine. And what he does is a whole series explaining why Christianity is wrong. Now, there are a lot of people who say, no, we're not supposed to convert to Christians. But he says, wait a minute. We're supposed to be a light unto nations. That's why we are here, to teach the world. And what he does is he has a guy who basically runs the show, the interview show, who is a Noahide. And it's a guy who gave up Christianity. And in one of the videos, he said, Rabbi Singer said, you must have given up a lot in your family and your friends to become Noahide. He said, yes, I did. Because a lot of his friends and family just don't want to talk to him anymore. How dare you leave Christianity to follow the actual laws of God? So, yeah, there are issues there. But nonetheless, just want to get that out of the way. You were saying, Elisheva, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So the 7 commandments of the children of Noah basically are similar to the 10 commandments, but I was going to read them off. It's not to not worship idols, to not curse God, to not commit murder, to not commit sexual immorality, to not steal, to not eat flesh torn from a living animal, and to establish courts of justice. Now, the eat flesh torn from a living animal is actually very interesting. See, a lot of people, when they hear the word treif, they think it just means not kosher. But the word treif actually means torn. It's as if like somebody was taking from someone that was alive, the animal that was alive, and just cut off the limb and started eating on it. But the word treif means torn. And so I thought that was interesting. So I wonder if by a stretch does that mean only eating kosher meat? I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, the point was I hit upon the Noahide Siddur. And I almost wanted to order it just to look at it. It was about $9 on their website.
Do me a favor, send it to me, because I never knew of that. I would love to see that.
The Noahide Siddur?
Yeah, send me a link.
Yeah,
I'd buy one. I'm curious.
I'll have to look for it.
Please do. Anyhow.
Okay.
By the way, people, just understand, Elisheva and I don't plan this out. We do talk about what we want to talk about, the beginning, and then from there we go off the deep end. And especially on this show, we're going off the deep end. We have nothing planned. But go ahead.
Well, this is actually some of those times when I'm told I'm getting too esoteric.
Go for it. I can
totally do it on
Let's
here.
Have fun
with
it. Let's have fun with it. We're not on the air. We don't have to hold back. We don't have to reserve ourselves in a lot of ways. We can just say what we want to say.
Right. So I'll find that link and send that along to you. But so that was mostly the interesting thing. This was the tail end of my Thanksgiving break from work. I felt like all of a sudden it was over, and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't accomplish anything, and it was crowded at the same time. So,
by the way, my nephew states that the somewhat torn from flesh Noahide laws also includes the fact that we are not allowed to eat bugs. If a bug is somehow in a food, or let's say in fruits and vegetables, which is not so common today. Where it used to be a long time ago before insecticides, you would have when I was a kid, you have to go take a bunch of leaves off lettuce before you can get to the good stuff. And that was okay for some, but we definitely say no. And my nephew, who says, hey, that's part of the Noahide tradition. It's not written outright, but it's definitely part of the laws. Anyhow, so the Noahide laws are like the Jewish laws have a little more into it than that, as you were alluding to.
Right. So that was basically all I had going.
Well, I have one more.
Okay.
You know how we always talk about anti-Semitism?
Yes.
I wanted to read an article. I read the headline from the Jerusalem Post. Excuse me. Menorah in Ukraine desecrated on first night of Hanukkah. Come on, people! Can't you at least wait till the second night? Let us have one day of celebration. Yeah. So this is what's going on around the world. Anti-Semitism is all over the place. And yeah, even on the first night of Hanukkah, can't give us one night. So anyhow, so we were talking before also about the wild versions of Hanukkah donuts. Oh, I want to. Israel National News always has it. Israel National News. Looking on the website, they always have Hanukkah donut stories. I'm looking for. I should have thought before. I mean, wild rock off the world combinations. They give their top 10. Maybe it's not out yet. Maybe I'll save for another day. But I'll have to find their top 10 Sufganiyot for this year. Here it is. 60-year-old man saving. Oh, here. 60-year-old man saved after choking on a jelly donut. And this jelly donut seems to have a what's it called again? Made of sugar. Oh, I forgot what it's called. A good cream on top. Whatever. But oxygen.
Chantilly cream.
Yeah. Really, really cool stuff. People come up with crazy donut ideas. I'm looking for their Hanukkah donut story. Every year they have one. Do you see? You don't see it either, huh?
No.
No. Maybe it didn't come out yet. Maybe they didn't compile it yet. But I remember in the past they've had they have vodka donuts. Yeah, with vodka in it. You can get drunk off the donuts.
No, you can't. It's cooked off.
Possibly. You never know. They may
No,
inject it with alcohol.
Usually that kind of stuff is cooked off.
You never know. You never know. But either way, you got anything else, Elisheva, or do you want to call it a night here?
We can just call it a night because this is still new. We're still trying to get this all figured out.
Oh, here's one, by the way. Beverly Hills investigates anti-Semitic flyers blaming Jews for COVID-19. And yes, by the way, there are a lot of Jews, including a friend of mine who lives in Beverly Hills. And it's funny, a friend of mine, we go from his. Okay, there are 3 synagogues in Beverly Hills, by the way, just so people know. So,
3 synagogues.
I should call my friend and get him on and talk about it, but he won't do that. But yeah, but it's funny that one year I'm in Beverly Hills, by the way, it was when Ozzy Osbourne lived there, and I was gonna stay for Hanukkah, but I decided not to. But the first night of Hanukkah, Sharon Osbourne showed up in the synagogue. Ozzy didn't come, so hey, I got a message here from somebody.
It was me.
That was you? Okay.
Yeah.
It says here.
It's the link
the prayer book. Yeah. Cool. I have to go check that out. Okay. If you don't have anything, all I can say is that I saw one cool article. NASA finally contacts Voyager 2 after years of silence. Pretty cool. Voyager 2 sending back something. What? I don't know. Go check out the NASA site. Don't ask me. I didn't read the article yet. All right, Elisheva, that's all. We don't need a timer. We can just call it now.
Yeah, let's call it.
Okay, we'll call this our inaugural episode of Jewish Community Radio After Hours. And when we'll be back with this one again, I have no friggin' clue.
Whenever we get around to it.
Yeah. All right, have a good one, everybody. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.